Alright, so today I'm going to be playing with an Illinois Duo. It's a wafer cam lock with 14 wafers and, strangely enough, security wafers. There are spooled wafers in there, and normally we don't associate cam or wafer locks with security. So there's three rows of bitting. When we look at the key is triple bitted. There's a row across the top, a row across the bottom, and then it's difficult to see on this key because there's only one deep cut on it. There's a set of sort of side bottom pins off to the side of the keyway. So there's top, bottom, and then kind of a bottom side. One of the things that gave me some trouble when I first started playing with this lock is those side bitted wafers. When we start to play with this lock, we want to go for those side wafers first. And I'm using a Sparrow's full dent, which gives me a little bit of flag-like capacity at the same time as regular picking. I'm going to start pressing those side bitted wafers down. And I'm going to get a pretty deep false set once I get the right wafer. And from my experience, it's somewhere in the back, but there it is. There's that little click. Now this is where I got hung up a lot. That false set, that turn on the core, doesn't mean I'm done with those side wafers. There's likely one or two back there that still need to be set. So one of the cool things about this lock is that you can't overset it. So I can be, a little less precise now. Kind of slide back along the warding. I can feel that there's one kind of in the way there. So I'm going to work on getting on top of him. And I'm looking to make sure that all of those side wafers are down into their locked position. There's another click before I start to go after the top and bottom wafers. Usually when I get that last wafer set, I'll get a little tiny bit of movement on the core, not much. Just a little bit. All right. Once they're set, they'll still feel a little springy. Mostly feel good. There's one. All right, that should be the last of the side wafers. Now when we go across the bottom, we're going to know those bottom wafers are ready to play when we press down on them with our pick and we feel they're bound up, they're locked up real tight. And these top and bottom wafers are where having a pick with a sort of broad play area is going to come in handy so that I'm not slipping in between the wafers and pulling tops down and bottoms up. So I'm going to find that front, relax the tension just a little bit, and get a good solid click. Sometimes you'll get 2 clicks out of each wafer. Sometimes you only get 1. Now I'm going to slide back until I find that next high wafer. Click out of him, slide back. Another click. And I can, again, because I'm only working across the bottom, so I don't need to worry about pulling the tops down, and I can't overset anything. So I can be a little bit more ham-fisted with what I'm doing. Feels like one more left on the bottom. Not all the way. Maybe. Usually when I get the last wafer on the bottom done and set, I'll get just a little bit more of that little click, little turn out of the core. I think everybody on the bottom feels down. Now I'm just going to check these side wafers again, make sure everybody is down where they need to be. They don't have a tendency to pop up that I've noticed, but good to check them. Now going up to the top, and kind of check them out, see how many there are. There's 4 across the top, 5 across the bottom. We're looking for one solid click. For a wafer, that one's not quite ready to move. 1. 2. A little out of sequence. I might have to hunt a little bit. That one felt up. And there's the turn. So these Illinois duos are, they sort of, the impression I get from these guys is hard to learn, easy to master. Once you sort of figure out what sort of the feedback is and what the sequence you want to start talking to these locks in, get those side wafers down, make sure they're all down. Can't overset them so it doesn't hurt to sit there and kind of mash on things a little bit as you go back and forth through the lock. Once you make sure all those guys are down, you might get another little part of a set. Then go to those bottom wafers. You're going to get 1, maybe 2 solid clicks out of each bottom wafer. Once you get that last 5th bottom wafer set, you might get a little bit more movement, and then you're going to switch up to the top. I like to work front to back so that I know that I'm going sequentially and I'm not going to get hung up in between the top wafers and start messing with bottom wafers, because they do overlap a little bit in how they sit in there. Just kind of being very deliberate. Side wafers, bottom wafers, top wafers. One thing that I do notice, especially on this lock, is that the frontmost top wafer hides behind the tension tool because he's real high and real close. So sometimes I've got to come back, and usually that front one is the last one to go, and I've got to get really deep in that angle to sort of get access to him behind the tension tool. So that's it for today. The Illinois Duo cam lock, triple bitted, security wafer lock. Turn him back up. They're really crunchy and hard to work sometimes, but they do work and they're a fun pick. Have a nice day.